Hello there. I'm Patrick Troughton, Doctor Who number 2. And if you're something of an expert on Doctor Who, imagine what I know about him.
Yes, there is. Yes. So we're hard at work right now on writing Series 2, as we're lovingly calling it. And that'll kind of close off the adventure and also start a new adventure for the Doctor of what happens at the end of Series 1. And we're hoping to record that in the summer, hopefully, and get that out sometime in the fall. And it'll be something that'll, I don't know, what can I say without spoiling too much?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Time Lord Exorcists.
Time Lord Exorcists. Yes.
And more action for Sherlock and the Doctor, more adventures with them, and also mixing it up a lot with the cast as well, getting them a lot more into the action. We were really blessed with a really fantastic cast the first time around, so we want to continue that on with Series 2 and have a lot of the same folks and some new voices as well involved in the process.
We've started writing the next half of it, which is difficult to talk about because of various things, but it's quite supernatural. It's quite frightening in parts. I think there'll be things in there that people have never heard before, and I keep on saying this, but I'll say 3 words: Time Lord Exorcists. So I just wanted to ask you something. So what's your overall opinion? I mean, first of all, thank you very much for the reviews, and thank you very much for the exposure. But what would you say, if we turn the tables here, what would you say is your impression of what you've heard so far?
Sure, and I'm happy to help, honestly. And I think that it's been pretty good. I really liked episode 1 and episode 4, but I thought like episode 2 and 3 were a little maybe slow.
Right.
I don't know if it was just not too much action, or maybe it was just that there was less humor in them.
Right.
Because the humor, as I said in my thing, some of the lines from episode 4 are my favorite lines of Doctor Who, I'll say.
Right.
You guys were on there. That was great.
So I'm detecting you like more of the humorous kind of stuff. I mean, I know Matt Smith is your favorite Doctor, right?
Matt Smith and Troughton.
Troughton.
Yeah, two of the more slapsticky Doctors,
right. So that's your sort of vibe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Now, not to ruin the questions that I had for you for the interview and stuff, but I was gonna say, I think that the humor goes well though, because at other times you're, being pretty dark, hinting at things happening to the Doctor in his past, So the humor kind of takes the edge off of that too.
My dear, I have had many companions, but none as dependable as Single Malt.
What do you like about it?
It's warm.
It's loyal.
And if you have too much, it makes you vomit. Doctor, could we employ haste as opposed to passion, if you please?
Now then, darling, what's your name?
I'm the Doctor.
Doctor, is it? You could examine me any time. I've the body of a 20-year-old.
Yes, but the teeth of a 90-year-old.
So last time that we were talking, Dark Journey hadn't had its first episode come up on air. Now that it's 4 weeks later, how's the last month been?
Well, there's been a lot of people just picking up on it through different channels, like through our SoundCloud account and through our website and through Facebook and Twitter. And I guess the most interesting thing is just to see the kind of how it's the interest in it is kind of organic. One person gets onto it, and then you see that their friend likes it, or a group that they're part of on Facebook, gets on top of it and starts reposting and stuff like that. So I guess it's just unexpected the way that it kind of rolls out. I guess I would have to say.
Has it scared anybody?
Has it scared anybody?
You know, if we look at the younger, I know it scared us,
yeah,
but not in ways that are story limited.
Yeah, no, it has.
But
That's been one of the comments. It's been, wow, this is like really scary, and wow, the sound is like really good. So,
right.
I guess people, the common thing is you might listen to a fan audio and you're thinking, maybe not expecting too much, but with the talented Clay Tech on our team,
yes,
that's not really a problem for us.
Yeah, you can't see Clay Tech, but you can hear him.
You can hear him,
which is exactly what he does.
You can hear his art.
Yes, that's his art. Yes,
I guess the other interesting thing too is that a lot of the fans seem to be younger. I guess a lot younger than we had probably initially thought. I mean, I don't think, Andrew, that you wrote it with a particular age bracket in mind, but it seems to be being enjoyed by a lot of younger people, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would go along with that. I mean, Mike's more of the social media, kind of guy and all this kind of business. I'm more of a, VHS kind of dude. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. But no, I mean, it's just getting some kind of an audience. I think it's just talking about it.
You think that social media has gotten you a younger audience? Like, you think it's just that because of how the message is getting out there, it's getting to younger people, not the older people?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the medium. Like, I think because the older people aren't as predominantly on social media or don't know how to use all the different tools of it, that might be why it's kind of reaching them. I mean, in the old days of fan audios, you'd be selling them at conventions and this kind of thing on audio cassette, and that would be how it would get around. So whoever saw your table would buy your tapes. But with this, I mean, it's people who are on Facebook, who are on, Twitter.
It's
and
free
all this
as well,
stuff.
so
yeah, and it makes it like really accessible as well. And I think also too, you're probably, my sense is we're getting a wider range fan base than just Doctor Who fans. I notice a lot of Sherlock fans seem to be into it.
Yeah.
People are into just general fantasy and sci-fi who maybe just kind of know what Doctor Who is. Are into it as well, which is just, as we said, was just kind of interesting to see because we didn't really know what the reaction would be to it.
Yeah, there's lots there to attract, I think, a multiple audience.
Yeah.
Which leads me into my new announcement. Season 2 will be Doctor Who meets the Kardashians, to try and just tag along onto a bit of that going on there. You know what I mean?
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Oh, what's his name? Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke, yeah.
Robin Thicke. Yes, yes. There you go. No, obviously not the Kardashians, but it is interesting. I think just getting, Sherlock fans, Victorian London, people who like serial killers. I guess. I mean, there's come to the basement and have a great time. But I think it's. I think as far as that's concerned. Yeah, it seems to have a multiple kind of appeal, which I think is good. Yeah, yeah.
And then for the older fans, you'll take out a full-page ad in the Toronto Star.
Yes.
Yes, that ad is forthcoming.
Yes.
Yes.
With a brass rubbing from the 18th century.
So you mentioned tongue-in-cheekly there, the next season's the Kardashians, but so I'd say that you a big spoiler out that it's going to have Sherlock in it too.
It will?
I wouldn't have just assumed that.
Well, yes. It's a linked story. It's a linked story. Even though we've got episode 5 on Saturday, it doesn't necessarily end, if you know what I mean. So think of it as being a mid-season break, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I guess so.
Not a fan of those.
You're not a fan of those? Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Fancy Pants, I didn't know. No, it's... well, I guess that's Dan off the call. He's not into this at all now. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I bet it's hard to say without blowing the gaff, really.
Well, yeah, it's hard to, I mean, you will hear this shortly before the rest of the internet does, Dan. But
yes, before the interweb.
I mean, there's definitely an ending in 5, but it's a jumping off point to the beginning of series 2, so which will make sense.
Yes,
when you hear it, yeah.
Yeah, there's a story arc. There's a story arc, definitely. Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm just thinking of the pages of notes now that I've got on my desk, and I'm thinking, awesome's not a word I would use to describe it, but there you go. Yeah.
In our previous interviews, you've mentioned that the Cool Beans Chalmers Doctor is darker, but you never told me that he was going to be so funny. So why was it so important to you guys to have the Doctor be funny?
He is funny, I think. He is funny. I think the Doctor is funny. I'm not sure he's cool. I think the nearest we got to that was Tennant. But I think the Doctor should always be someone who doesn't he's got very extremes. He can be incredibly everyone here is going to die. Oh, wait a minute, I've forgotten something. And here's a wine gum. So I think there should always be that kind. I think the Doctor is funny, in short, really. But at the same time, he's got to have a darkness with him as well, right, Mike?
Yeah, and I think that you kind of need that humor too to kind of take the edge off of the darkness as well, or else it just gets a bit dreary to listen to. So you got to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, it's not Batman.
It's not Batman.
Although we love Batman, but you know what I mean. It's that kind of thing. He's got to be. Thank you for the compliments, obviously, about being funny. I mean, I love to hear the dialogue because. There is a banter there between Holmes and the Doctor, I think, which is very good. And thank you for that wonderful compliment in the review of 4, saying, some of the lines were good about the whole lunatic girl meets cult member and stuff like that. Thank you. That was very nice.
Doctor, you mentioned the sword was not of this earth.
11 out of 10, yes.
So what makes the weapon unique?
It's made from an ancient compound which is literally a living thing. It absorbs the energy of its victims. It's very delicate, constantly in flux before the ceremony. So we also have the 5 Ripper victims on the same train.
How would they meet?
Powerful men looking to impress. Look at me, ladies. I've got a big alien sword.
Benedict Waters had a fondness for the ladies of the night, as I stated earlier.
It's the age-old story. Lunatic cult member meets girl. Girl meets lunatic cult member. It's all so romantic. Then after they hook up, the girls are talking in a wacky way with blue eyes and are hunted down, not randomly, but specifically murdered.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes of that episode were extremely funny. And as my wife was enjoying it, she hasn't even listened to any of the rest of the episode.
Right.
So she was just sitting there listening to me as I was listening to it, and she was enjoying the banter, as you said, between Holmes and the Doctor.
Yeah.
And she got on board just because of the humor. So
right on.
Thank you. Well, I think that your wife and you will definitely like our series 3, which we're currently in development with now, which is tentatively titled "Chummin' with the Master," and it features the Dark Journey Doctor in suburban Peterborough, living a suburban lifestyle with his neighbors, the Daleks and the Cybermen. He lives a daily workabout life. Works down at the factory. It's
awesome.
The Master's a stay-at-home mom.
It's awesome.
And there's a laugh track. So if it's not funny, we'll just make it funny.
It's a departure.
Yeah, it's a departure.
It's a departure.
A dark departure.
A dark departure. Yeah.
So look out for that sometime in 2037.
That'll be fine.
Our American pal in the pub said he'd seen the attacks. He also said the Rippers said they stole something. Yes, I've got it.
What, my dear fellow?
I thought I'd lost these wine gums. Back in 78 at a Rush concert, Cool Beans. Would you like one?
Doctor, can we please maintain our focus?
Are you sure?
If it will aid the investigation, yes, I will have a wine gum.
Oh, a black one. Good choice.
It is quite agreeable. Chewy, tangy on the taste buds. Almost spicy.
Would you stop babbling on about wine gums, Holmes? I've lost my train of thought now.
Clay mentioned a bit about the whole recording of the wine gum thing there.
The wine gum.
Oh, yes. Tell us about the wine gums.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let's get your position here. This is a good technical story.
Which part?
The wine gums.
Okay.
When we were, I was
wine
eating
gums.
the wine gums and saying the lines, and
Oh,
we wanted
right.
to pass the wrapper to Roy, who plays
Right.
Holmes. But Clay could actually tell that I was eating these wine gums.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
Because I could,
he couldn't see me because he's behind this
Right.
curtain.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So basically, he's eating the wine gums. I guess you were enjoying them.
I loved them.
He was really
Yeah.
enjoying them.
I loved
he
them.
really.
And we're like, these are props, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
stop eating the wine gums.
Except they're totally building up phlegm in his throat.
Yeah.
And making it very difficult for me to record, unfortunately. So there was a lot of clear your throat.
Yeah.
That type of
Yeah.
thing.
It was like working with a very strange psychic. He
Yeah.
says, Andrew, are you eating
Wine gums.
wine gums? And I'm like, no. He's like, take them out of your mouth. I can hear your mouth. It's full of saliva. This is, this...
But that's the nature of recording, I guess, because it picks up everything, especially when you get or you have decent mics in front of someone's face, just sucking it all in. So, yeah.
Anyway, there's a nice little saliva.
Yeah, saliva.
A saliva story for you there. But that was improvised to a certain degree, as was the magnifying glass scene, wasn't it?
Yes.
You mean you pimped my magnifying glass?
Yeah, when he's looking into my eyes when I'm trying to get away from
the dialogue was there, but it was more
telling about Cassandra.
The performance was heavily changed just because of the chemistry that you and Holmes had kind of developed.
Right.
I think, yeah. Like it was there on the page, but not. How you say it? Not the way that it was delivered. The way that it was delivered was really kind of worked out on the spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The magnifying glass, you don't get my noise joke was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Actually, Andrew was very particular about that Clay put in the right sound effect for the magnifying. That'd be a different sound effect than the sonic.
Yes.
A separate sonic.
It wasn't my idea though. I think it was your guys' idea.
I don't know where I end and you begin anymore. So
how romantic.
Yeah.
How romantic.
Maybe it was Clay.
Here's a secret.
Here's a secret. Go.
It was actually the same sound, except I just slightly changed it.
So that makes it a different sound.
But it was the same sound.
But it came from the same family.
The same source.
Oh. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow. The same source, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So either I'm fired as director, you're fired as sound guy. Or he's fired.
I'm just fired generally, I think, yeah. So there you go. It was indeed the same sound. Okay. Yeah. It does sound good. Yeah. But anyway, we're glad you like the
sound effect.
The sound effect, yeah.
I'm actually afraid to ask another question here, but was there a joke or a moment that you guys had in the first 4 episodes that was your favorite? Like, do you have a favorite joke from the script?
Mike?
The wine gums, perhaps.
That's a big favorite with me, to be honest with you, Dan. Yeah,
I think the part where Holmes and the doctor are escaping from the dogs, and they jump up on the train carriage, and the doctor says, "A Holmes cooked meal, perhaps." Never mind, bad joke.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, I like that one because I think it breaks the tension quite well.
Of the dog
You've got
attacks.
all this action, and then it's exactly what you were saying, Dan. You've got this dark doctor. They're in this really tricky situation, and then all of a sudden he's cracking this like really cheesy joke. This is quite funny. It works quite well, I thought.
Yeah. Sorry,
Clay?
go.
I'd say my favorite at this point is the one coming up. There's one coming up specifically has actually had me laughing. Like the timing of it is just
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I like I've been going over and over it, just making sure. It's right.
You can say
and
that
I'm,
again.
And
yeah.
I'm trying to deliver the pause, the proper like Andrew Chalmers pause.
Oh.
To really hit it.
Okay.
And once I got it in place, I love it.
Oh.
It's a great moment. And you'll know what it is. Like it's close to the very beginning, but it's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say what it is, obviously. So.
I like how we talk about an Andrew Chalmers pause. You should mention that to my wife. She'd love to get the secret of that, and then tell her about the Andrew Chalmers mute button. You could probably get some money from that. Yeah. Thank you. Favorite joke? I would probably say I do like the wine gum scene, and I do like lunatic cult member. It's an average story, and the whole thing about it is I listen to these kind of scenes now, and I think I would have done them a little bit kind of differently. I think, just in ways, but you hear that a lot.
Oh, really, Olivier?
No, I'm not being a twat, but you know what? But I'm just saying though. Hey, Rocco, take it easy. Anyway, yeah. So I would think wine gums definitely, because there was an element of us all working together on that. Clay was working with the saliva. Roy and I were trying to work out the scene. Mike was coming in and kind of directing. So I always love things that are the result of a team effort. So yeah. So I'd probably say the wine gum scene. What's yours?
I would say probably the wine gum. Found them at the Rush concert.
Oh, that one. That was Mike's idea to put that line in, because obviously, as you may have heard, you've heard the rumors. I'm a Rush fan, although you think the production team is a Rush fan. Although Clay's got moving pictures on vinyl. But that was Mike's idea.
I was just trying to fit in.
Do a Rush concert. in 82 or something. So I thought, okay,
Well, I wanted kind of too a little touch of Canadiana in the production as well. A little taster, a little hint.
Yeah.
As to where we kind of taped it from and what we were all about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As in me not knowing anything about Rush. I wanted that in there somewhere. So
it's the General Lee. He's the lead singer.
He's good.
I think the thing about the Canadian thing is, speaking as a Brit who lives in Canada now, I do like this idea of doing a Canadian thing, which I consider it to be, for obvious reasons. And I like that. I'm not sure if there are other Canadian.
No, we're the only one.
Mike, forever the publicity guy is always telling me it's the first Canadian one, but I'd like to agree with that as well. But and I will do from this point on.
Yeah.
But I like that idea. I think it's nice to just have that kind of thing a little bit, like a Canadian thing.
So now let's go from the humor to the darkness.
Oh my God. Okay.
So you hinted at this darkness a lot over the first 4 episodes.
Yes.
Hinted about him losing someone close to him.
Yes.
Do we get to find out more about this?
You will do.
We will find out a bit more about the Noble Project and what that's all about.
You'll find out.
Informed our doctor.
Yes. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth there. The Noble Project is a big thing for this doctor, as well as this business he's got with the site and this ability at the end of his life to. He's basically the sum of his battles and his encounters. Yeah. So he's basically the sum of his battles, but he can't afford to have these frontline battles anymore because of the effect it has on him, which I thought was an interesting little thing. But when he does have the sight, it takes a lot out of him. It can be dangerous, but he's able to see more than he can before. So the fact that he's a little bit on the psychic side, I think, gets him involved in things which are slightly darker as far as that's concerned. So in answer to your question, you will find out more. It's the last half of it is very wide-reaching, and you see a lot, and you find out why he left Gallifrey in the first place. So it goes all the way back to the first Doctor, and then you see that things are not quite as they're set up to be. It's not exactly a standard kind of story. So it's very far-reaching. It's very, I don't want to use the word epic, but it's very epic, is what I would say. Yeah.
And to make it more epic, you had a few cameos so far in this story. There's a little Tom Baker cameo in episode 2, and then I think I heard some Daleks towards the end of episode 4 there.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes, which I was convinced Mike was one of those, actually.
I was not one of the Daleks.
I didn't hear a New York Dalek.
No, you didn't hear that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Navras, what's going on with Dr. Dalek? Yeah, this kind of thing, yeah. But and that's all, once again, that's all down to, to Clayton doing the sound on it. I mean, when I listen to these things are a huge surprise to me. The whole Tom Baker scene was written, but the dialogue was chosen, I think, by Mike, who put it in there with Clayton's wonderful, his take on things. And the first time I heard it, it was brilliant. I mean, I was close to tears. I couldn't believe it.
Now there's an investigator for you, look.
We don't want to be conspicuous, do we?
Doctor, you make me wear strange clothes. You tell me nothing. You are trying to annoy me.
I'm trying to teach you.
An acquaintance, Doctor?
More of a colleague. Years ago, we were very close.
He's probably investigating the Weng Chang case.
Yes, he probably is. Do you like his hat?
Yeah, we always worry about marrying something that's new and something that's already been around for 30 or 40 years, and is it going to work? Is it going to sound okay, right, Clay? So, yeah, I mean, what were the challenges putting that in and putting some sound effects in that maybe weren't even recorded 30 years ago, as well as some of the stuff that we've done now?
It's like honestly,
well, because some of it's mono, right? And it's like,
I mean, like you can tell like that it was recorded on older equipment, so there's definitely limitations there. Like it sounds lo-fi compared to when you listen to what we have done.
Yes,
which is, I mean, it's awesome to see how technology has really evolved to the point that it has for us to be able to do this in the first place.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But it was just a lot of manipulation, like trying to pull back, like hiss and stuff like that, and ducking down, a lot of the stuff that was happening between the dialogue in that original scene.
Yes.
And just kind of like just
playing with it,
playing with it. Yeah, like as if it's sort of like putty a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like 100%. Like all I mean, you'll never get it to 100%, but. I think it turned out, I'm pretty happy with how it did.
It sounds distant as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It sounds distant.
That's the thing too that we kind of liked with this production. It kind of marries a lot of the old kind of stuff, that classic-y kind of stuff, but also the very new kind of stuff. I mean, I think that there's a lot of links between Dark Journey and sort of the the New Adventures kind of era of Doctor Who. It is a little bit darker. It is a little bit edgier, but also it's still. I think it's still accessible enough to the average listener, whereas perhaps maybe some of the novels weren't near the end.
Yeah, I think I was reading about the New Adventures the other day, and I thought to myself, "Wow, these guys have this is like some of the stuff in the books was really
crazy,
really dark." I don't know whether you've ever read any of these, or I mean,
I haven't had a chance.
I remember them coming out at the time, and of course I went to buy them all, But some of them were incredibly, I was reading them going, what is going on here?
The doctor's a drug addict in one of them, and there's sex scenes, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Is there?
Yeah.
I didn't see those, but I'll be checking those out.
Well, there are no illustrations, but...
Yeah, there's no illustrations, no. But in one of the synopses, and I thought this was quite creative, but they actually said, I think Mike's expecting a joke here, but I'm not, it's not a joke, but they actually said that how the Sixth Doctor, he fell off his exercise bike and regenerated, right? They actually said that he attempted to commit suicide to not become the Valeyard.
Huh.
And there was some book that they wrote where Seven had to go and talk to Six and tell him not to kill himself because he wasn't going to be the Valeyard. And I thought to myself, and this all got rather kind of crazy, and the Sixth Doctor almost killed a child. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, these guys were on crack, man. This is nuts. But that's just an example of how darker it was, really.
Yeah.
Because
that's the wilderness years, right?
Yeah, people just were writing all sorts of kind of stuff, and companions were fornicating in the TARDIS willy-nilly, and that's not a pun, willy-nilly, I'm just saying. But it was all going on, really. So I think in comparison, we're kind of a bit lame, really.
Tame lame.
Tame and lame, Yeah. Anyway, that's just.
We've actually got to ramp it up.
Yeah,
we gotta ramp it up.
Go a bit of crazy there. Yeah.
Full frontal nudity in the next audio.
Yeah, on the audio.
On audio.
Yeah.
Can you do that, Clay?
I think we can do that.
Yeah, okay.
You can do that. Yeah.